Hi and welcome everyone. I'm so glad and delighted to be a part of your journey and your legacy with my sharings. Today I have a very special topic. It's the cost of being cheap. Have you ever had persons in your circle that had the opportunity to pick up on an offer or a deal and they just were cheap? Well, we're going to talk about the dangers around being cheap and how that could affect you. So, there's a lot of wisdom in managing resources. And of course, that is biblical as well. But being excessively cheap or stingy could have negative effects. Negative effects as missed opportunities, strained relationships, even poverty. There's this myth that wealthy people are cheap. And we want to dive a little bit deep so that you'll see that wealthy people are not cheap. They actually prioritize the value that they want to pay for. And I want to say this, that wealthy people are wealthy because they own stuff of value. Right? So the flip side is also true, that people are poor probably because they have stuff that has no value. So let's dive in. Proverbs 11 verse 24. It says, "One person gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should give and only suffers want." And I've seen it in many cases where people decide to have a mindset geared towards being cheap. I've heard persons say, when I get more pay, I will put money on my phone. Or when I get this, I will buy more uniform. And in essence, when you operate on that level, what you are actually speaking into the universe is that money is scarce and it's limited. And specifically, it's limited around you. So being cheap, and I'm not saying for things that you don't want, but I'm talking about things that should be essential in investing in your future. Those are critical things that you don't want to be cheap with. Investing early in your life is essential for your growth. So we want to look at examples where persons may be able to afford, but they are being cheap. They may be able to purchase something comfortably, right? But they are being unnecessarily cheap. And what they are signaling into the atmosphere and into psychology is that money is scarce and money is limited. And we know that that is not true. It's not an abundance mindset. When we are able to spend money in a way that money is made for, then we actually create a mindset of more is available and I know how to get more. And in fact, I'm encouraged now, because I would have rewarded myself by spending on something of value. I'm now encouraged to actually make more money. And this is actually one of the reasons why people settle for less, because they don't want to afford. People actually settle for less because they don't want to afford, because they are being cheap. They believe that being cheap is saving them money when it's actually costing them money. Just like the people who send a call me request when they should have money on their phones. They don't know it may be $1 million deal that might be available to them, but they try to call on WhatsApp, right? There's certain things that are necessary and a must for you to do business, for you to be serious about business. You can't afford to be cheap with things that are critical. And in fact, I want to say you can't afford to be cheap on the whole, right? So I'm going to touch on another scripture here that I find that is also really valuable. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 6, it says, "Whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows bountifully will also reap bountifully." And it's the same concept of understanding abundance is all around us. Whether that we want to sow a little and reap a little, or whether that we want to sow much and reap a lot. Whether that we want to be cheap and signal into our minds that money is limited and it's so scarce that it's so difficult for you to gain that I don't want to spend any of it. There are reasons for you to spend and for you to give value. And one of the things that I like to say is those who are unable to pay are also unable to charge. And the reason that I say it like that is because when you pay for valuable services, it's a communication of value and it gives you the confidence to ask for value as well. There's no cheap way to wealth. There's no cheap way to wealth. So I want to encourage you, don't have that cheap mindset of, could I get a sample? Is it free? Because if it's free, I'm gonna show up. We know the story. Cheap thing no good, right? So don't wire yourself to say, I'll only get it if it's cheap, or I'll only do this if it's cheap. Because essentially, what it is that you are saying is that you are unable to understand wealth and you are unable to attract a certain amount of value, and you only are able to attain value by being able to grant value. So don't devalue other services by asking for it for free, because there's no way that you could run a profitable business by giving your services for free. So I hope that this here was a blessing, that you can benefit from it and increase the abundance mindset that you have, because I believe that I'm able to think and spend and give tips and so on because I have this belief that there's money that's waiting around the corner, right? It's gonna be replenished. And the Bible actually says that whoever brings a blessing will be blessed, and whoever waters others will be watered as well. So you need to be able to give people their value, spend some of that money. I'm not saying not to have your emergency fund and your savings and investments, but I'm saying please don't be cheap, right? Stay blessed. I'm looking forward for you to become wealthy and for you to have abundance mindset. I'm looking forward for it. Stay tuned and we'll be back with you shortly. Take care.